Okay, we're at CCM in Bolton. I'm Lara Moto. This is
Phoenix, Luna, Carrie,
Prophet. and you might be able to tell a bit of a difference between us. We are slightly different heights, okay?
Just a little
These are our
bit.
heights. I've got a 32-inch inside leg. You are on a
26,
strong 29, right? Strong. And CCM have kindly provided a variety of bikes of different ride heights, so we can go and get a flavour of what they're like to ride and swap and change.
Yeah.
So we're going to head out onto the road and see what it's like swapping around.
the different vertical challengeness.
Right, let's go. Woo! Ourselves on a fleet of CCMs. I'm on a tracker, Street Moto R, and we've got the beautiful bobber there. Perfect. It's not just a girl video, we're actually just showing the fact that we've got different heights and how that matters. Some bikes disappear under people and others don't know where the side stand is, but yeah. CCM tracker, this is the tallest of all the 4 bikes we have available. This is a Maverick, so the 50-50-ish tyres, about middle of the pack height wise. We have then the Street Moto R, so this is the lowest of all 4 bikes, and then we finally have the bobber. So I think I'll take the tracker. They all have the 600cc single. I'm on the tallest of the CCM bike options. Now I have a 32-inch inside leg and I can really comfortably flat foot on this bike. Like CCM bikes don't come tall. Quick heads up, this next bit of footage is just me basically riding all the brilliant CCM bikes, and if you want to skip to about 7 minutes in, we'll go back to the studio and do some talking about what we've thought. But for the meantime, watch some riding. What am I enjoying about this bike? The throttle response around the single, such a good chug out of it. Blah blah blah. It's a nice single cylinder. Grunts and growl. I'm getting this initial CCM factor. Something a little bit special, a little bit unique, definitely a head turner. I like the aesthetics and design. Billet aluminium, custom dash here with a kill switch and an ignition switch, pretty wicked. Feels neat, nice bit of attention to detail. Gear change is nice and slick, great little engine. Feels like I'm really wrapped around it. So I feel like I'm kind of in control and I know where it is. I'm not intimidated by the weight or size of it. I feel like I can dominate it, but it doesn't feel small or cramped. I'm 5'10" and it's neat. It's neat. Chug chug chug. Really nice, positive, traditional motorbike throttle response, like chug chug chug, like it's
like a motorbike back up road, that's what I think.
Yeah. So I think I'll take the bobber next. Bobber, look at that beauty. I've got the bobber factor. Got a really good rasp to it. Blah 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 blah. Bobber. Cute wing mirrors. Nice circle design. Looks like it rotates but doesn't. Listen to that. Right, this is the bobber factor. Seat wise, we're already much more snugged in, a much more comfortable seat. It's a really nice cupping shape. I really like the exhaust note on this. We've been warned off about ground clearance a little bit on the bobber, but nothing too serious. Okay, let's ride the Street Moto R. So this is the lowest. Let's see how it feels. Quite cool. Same engine, but it all sounds so different. I like it. Definitely behaves like a short leg single in a way. They only rev up to like 8 grand and then they're going to top out. So I'm on the Bumblebee. This one feels very slim, so a really narrow waist, like you're really tucked around the tank. It definitely feels the smallest of all 4. I feel happy on this one because I've got the most grip for the road at the moment, but you've got to remember that these have no ABS, no traction control, they're just raw. It'll be rude not to. Right, I'm on my final bike now. I'm on the Maverick 60/40 tyres. I've got a kind of a flat track style bike, where the street moto feels like more about wheelies. This one feels more about skids. And what's really fascinating is that these all got the same frame and the same engine. They've got different exhaust, slightly different mapping, and there's something really fun and different about riding them, especially back to back like this. It's a great experience. I had a quick chat with Phoenix to understand what it meant to have a shorter inside leg and the different planning considerations when she goes out for a ride.
That was good. I was just saying on this one, like when you ride bikes that are so tall, like you need a little bit of time to figure out how to.
Yeah.
And when we come around that junction, that was an immediate like 30-degree hill. Like,
Yeah.
we have to stop here.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, but it's just, that's clever. It's just really important. I never really thought about that. It's just like the challenges you have on dealing with not having that leg length to ride different bikes.
I haven't got anything to save myself.
Mm.
So, like, it's literally, when I'm doing things like that, I've got to be so careful with like how quickly I'm going on, how much clutch and brake control I'm doing at the same time, because I can't just stop.
No.
Even like stopping here, normally if I'm on a tall bike, like my bike is really tall, I would stop on the right hand side so that I can put my leg on the curb.
Yeah, interesting.
Stand down,
So you think about a lot more.
Oh yeah.
And that distracts your brain in a way. Like you're much busier thinking about that.
Yeah, like even if, for example, if I'm travelling somewhere new, I'll research it on Google Earth to see if there's curbs and stuff there first.
No way.
So I can like prepare.
Okay.
I need to.
Thanks for sharing that, Phoenix. Now back to the studio. Let's gather and get warm. Oh, and the rest of the gang, of course. There's a few of us at CCM today. We have the long-legged Jason, David, a solid 32-inch, Ben on a 27-inch, ex-motocrosser, Carrie on a 27 as well, me on a 32, and finally Phoenix on a wonderful 26. And we have had the absolute privilege of riding the CCM fleet, practically. And that's taught us quite a lot about the CCM experience. That helps. And also the difference that ride height matters. And one of the biggest things I wanted to come across is the fact that I've got two different size friends.
Bit vertically challenged. Just a tad.
Vertically optimised, I think.
Oh, I like that. That's a very good way to look at it.
Yeah. I stand at a strong 5'10", so I think according to our species, I'm one of the taller ones. And I have a 32-inch inside leg, but not in these trousers today because we're liking them baggy, but there's 32 inches. Whereas Phoenix here...
5 foot tall and I've got a 26-inch inseam, but I am wearing platform Converse, so I kind of got a little bit of bonus
I
there.
noticed that, you're cheating.
I am cheating a little bit. I should have taken my shoes off for the video, sorry guys.
I'm 5'3", 5'3" and a
5'3"
half on a
Okay.
good day. The half matters, guys. You guys know that.
Yeah.
29-inch inseam.
Strong. So 29, 32 and
26.
This is more for just to show the generation of heights, whatever sex you are. And we've had the opportunity to kind of talk to CCM a little bit more because, in my opinion, before getting to ride CCMs, is that they're typically lower than most bikes. There's a lot of newer bikes coming out, taller sports bikes, taller adventure bikes, whereas I feel like the CCM range covers moderately sized ride heights. And the bikes behind us have got a variety of different sizes. I will read them, so I can't remember totally off by heart. But to our your, my left, to the side where Carrie is, we've got the lowest. Is that the bobber? The bobber's the lowest, isn't it? Yeah, we're on to that. Up to the tallest, who's on the tracker up here. So I'll give you a few clues as to read them off. So seat height, 33.7 inches. What have we got there?
32.9.
Yep.
32.3.
Down to a
30.7 and then a 29.7.
Got it. So one of the advantages I have with my luxurious 32 inches is that I've pretty much hopped on all of them and not felt too tall or too long, because I've just got that distance. Even getting on the shortest one on the bobber, there's a little bit of a configuration difference there, because in bobber land, your feet are slightly further forward, so for that kind of laid back style where you've got access to those pegs, you can stretch your legs out. But then on my favourite out of all of them ended up being the Street Moto R, because that became something I could really wrap around and then have that kind of what I call the Sig Moto experience.
Because obviously being one of the smaller bikes, you would have expected you to slightly
I
gel
feel
more with the larger
longer
one, but
one.
to gel with this one's quite cool, I think.
So my biggest learning journey and all going out today is watching you ride, because I was like, oh, this is what it matters,
Yeah.
not to have that difference in height. So
Yeah.
because even on the lowest one, you were still, when you came up to the lights, you still had to get off and kind of sit like this.
Yeah.
And I was like, how does that feel, and how did you deal?
Yeah.
Have you learned to deal with that?
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of briefly explaining earlier, we took a couple of routes and I was a little bit apprehensive because there was a particular junction that we came towards and it was a very tight right hand turn, uphill, like 30-degree road, so obviously quite steep. And when you're on a large one, I think I was on this one.
Maverick?
Maverick, yeah, I think I was on a Maverick.
So this is on the 32.9.
Yes.
So you're already on the taller one.
I'll swing a leg over.
Yeah.
So I was on this one, obviously, as you can see, quite a substantial difference on the leg there, but I mean, I still manage with her okay. It's just a case of, obviously, I've had a lot of practice now, I think, obviously coming from a bit more of a motocross background. But the great thing with these bikes is they are so light and so narrow, I kind of feel like I'm not losing any of my leg. If that makes sense? So you can kind of hop over them a little bit.
So where the bobber has a wide seat, did you notice that one on that one Carrie? So
Yeah.
it kind of eats leg length
Yeah.
by the fact that it becomes wide, but then it narrows at the front, so you've got a little bit of stretch when you come forward.
Kind of work with it because of that thing before.
It's probably worth pointing out now that both the blue and the yellow one are identical. They're both the Street Moto R's, but one of them has been lowered.
It's just over 2-inch difference, isn't it?
So that's, again, the kind of customisation that most manufacturers should offer, but CCM offer as part of a bit of configuration. Carrie, which one was your favourite?
Probably the bobber or this. They're both just really
so both
comfort, but I'm like you leaning towards
The
that.
Street Moto.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it felt like a big pit bike to a degree, just like a proper like,
Interesting.
yeah.
But the pokey,
You can just chuck
the
it around
pokey.
the bottom end, like nippy, really stable in the corners.
I was quite
Great
surprised
grip.
actually with that when you were saying how like bottom end of these, like the first gear in these is like very like
Sure.
I'm here.
Yeah, it's happening, isn't it?
Yeah.
So one of the opportunities that was good to experience today is that you've got identical engines, so 600cc singles with a dual port exhaust, loving that. And then, so they're about roughly 50 brake horsepower. What's the about right? So you've got different maps and different exhaust or silencer fits. Well, in fact, arguably very different header, downpipe, and then silencer designs. But they've actually given each one a bit of a
Super
snappier
different
experience.
character.
So the kind of bolshiest one is absolutely the bobber for me.
Yeah.
Because
Probably why I enjoyed it the most.
yeah, it's just the one that
I
had
would
the
agree with
most
that.
almost like early noise impact of
Yeah.
Character.
it.
Presence.
Character.
Definitely has
Absolutely.
presence.
And then the one I secondly remember is like the street moto experience, which is just like the pop and spice, as it were.
Yeah.
Yes,
came
you
out
had
of
good
that.
fun on that one.
Yeah, we had fun on that. I just checked your fork seals if I were you. That's good. And then we just end up with kind of if the wheelbase has changed at all. I never really checked that. But is the wheelbase the same for all?
Wheelbase is the same, but the wheel size is different on all the bikes.
That's what changes the handling. So I guess you've got, are we going as far as the 19s, are they?
Yeah,
Yeah, and then
19s.
down to 17.
Yeah, I feel like
16.
it felt different.
16 on the
Big,
bobber.
but massive rim,
Yeah, massive tyre, yeah.
wall. So that does change how the handling
Yeah,
feels.
I felt the difference on them too quite
Did
a
you
lot.
feel much on the tyre difference? So that, on the profile of the street moto, you've got that, it flips a lot easier.
Yeah.
And this is in no way sluggish, but you can feel the
Yeah.
It's
moderation.
definitely more of a delayed response, I feel, almost, whereas this one's more instantaneous, definitely, like with what you put into it, whereas these ones are a little bit more like, relaxed.
Yeah, well, you can kind of see that kind of I'll model it, we didn't get it real. It's a trucker, yeah, it's a trucker style, which is good fun. So if you're going to choose one, or so in that way, which one would you recommend to a new rider of your vertical match?
I'd probably say this.
Yeah.
I'd probably say this one, to be fair.
Yeah.
It's good fun, good poke, but height's very manageable, weight's very manageable, but it's responsive and it's fun. So it's kind of a really good mid-ground, and it's not like intimidating in the way of like, you know, if you lean too far one way, you're not going to go over with it, and you kind of can quite comfortably.
So speaking of weight then, I haven't actually looked in, are we 120 kilograms roughly?
145.
Okay.
Really, you wouldn't have thought that, they're quite light.
Yeah, so that's like really nice, kind of lightweight.
Yeah.
So you feel comfortable on that, because you still had to just poke your leg up a little bit. Carrie, were you the same on that one?
Just
about, yeah. So I think that as much as we've spoken about it, it's about time we demonstrated what it really means to adjust to different heights.
Yeah.
So we're back to the Street Moto. This is the R, and this is at the lowest setting. So CCM have adjusted the spring. So I sit comfortably on this. So this is 30.7 inches. In terms of ride height, and by that I mean the top of the seat, and then taking a dimension from the top of the seat. So basically where my arse sits. I'm 70 kilograms, and so a lot of different manufacturers either measure their seat height depending on if it's like whether it's rider sag or static sag. So this is currently rider sag, because I'm sat on it. Static sag is if the bike's unloaded. Okay, so that's obviously something worth bearing in mind depending on your weight. So I'm very much flat foot, and it's pretty convenient.
I feel like we should go middle.
Middle. Let's go middle. I'll pass it over to you. Love it. To worry. Oh, you straight on tippy toes.
We're on tippy toes already.
Yeah,
God,
which I guess makes sense. 30.7, 29, so.
Yeah.
But then obviously I can just very
and then
slightly.
you scooch left and right, and because the seat's narrow enough, you've got that flexibility.
You feel very stable. Like I'm
Do
quite.
you change the platforms on the bottom of your bike shoes?
I could do with that. I need that in
Some
trial,
people
to be
have
honest.
made them, but obviously you don't get any feel for your real
No,
weight.
yeah,
It's kind of like not possible in that way. And then.
And this is back to Phoenix land. So, but you're used to it now, and it's not something that stops you riding. You just plan a bit more. And what I realised in terms of mental capacity when I was chatting to you about it is that you've got more to think about.
Yeah. So, I've ridden quite a few different bikes, but for example, like when I've ridden like big adventure bikes and I've had them on the road, I've had to to an extent pre-plan my journey so that I know there's going to be curbs that I can use to stop on, or if I'm going to have to look out for bits of road that off camber, for example, because obviously when I'm stopping like this, obviously this is not so much of an issue because the bike is very light, so I feel like I can really move on it and not have a problem, whereas with a heavier bike, obviously if you're landing off camber, then you're going to sort of run into a couple of problems maybe, but yeah, I mean, I got no floor. I can't hit the floor,
No,
but
it's really interesting.
yeah,
Really interesting.
and I'm wearing platforms as well, so obviously you've got that to remember. So
Yes, you are. I don't know how you managed that. One thing to let's not talk about the suicide stand.
well, I actually found that really helpful because one thing for me being vertically challenged is I cannot get the side stand up. So every bike that I've had to drill into the side stand and tap a bolt into it so that I can get my toe on it, or I have to get on the bike with it up. Whereas with this, obviously you just lean over and it's up, which is actually super duper handy. So yeah, I actually really like that.
So the optional extra is you keeping the suicide stand.
I think I like it.
Here's what it looks like for different riders of different size legs getting on and off the Street Moto.
No, I've got to find the damn thing. See, this falls nicely in line with what it said on my card, which was ride style barely.
Yeah, you're happy on the track. Like, you used to at buses used to sell, wasn't it?
I've lost them.
Yeah, I don't ride them though.
Yeah, so
You
it's,
can literally stand above it.
yeah.
That's me on my trial bike.
Complete gospel.
That's why I ride a bike with no seat mostly.
Nice. So another thing that CCM have mocked up for us, because they've got access to a great workshop that they build their bikes in. This is like a kind of a seat height estimator tool, and so what we do is adjust it fully for you.
That's fantastic. I probably still can't flat foot that.
Let's find out.
Okay, right.
So that is.
Wait. I still can't flat foot that. That's actually awful.
So that's like 26, 27, and you are a
26 inside.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So what that does is show the fact that you can't just take a generic height from the floor, because there's the seat width matters a lot.
Massively.
And then also, you don't ever stand because there's an engine away or an exhaust cylinder or like assembly in a way. So you're typically, your leg length is there that matters, not exactly there. But one of the things we were considering was an arch distance. So if we hold it down, so this is now, what we're talking, that's now 60, so 60 from that side, so that's, taken up to 27, 28, but then again, you couldn't quite flat foot. So it's more of a conversation topic to really think about how you can measure it and standardise it across different manufacturers.
Yeah.
Different manufacturers report it differently.
Yeah.
You're going to take a measurement differently, and then I think the reality is, what we've learned from this whole experience is that the first step to choosing the right bike for you is go and get on bikes.
It's very true.
As in, go to the different manufacturers, or if you're lucky enough, choose one and then do a multiple day ride out and feel the difference, because you can have a low bobber with a wide seat, and you can have a tall Maverick but get a thinner seat and adjust it.
Yeah.
And again, with the options with CCM, you could probably take some stuffing out the side of your seat walls, you know, for example, just to give that, have it lowered in general, so it actually change the geometry of the bike. Obviously, bear in mind that does affect ground clearance, but on a lot of the higher foot peg ones, it doesn't matter so much. But you could probably do do custom seats, because there's different foam options, different insert options, there's options for everyone. Mm-hmm. And the kind of main messaging out of all of it is that you can ride whatever. It doesn't matter.
You can learn to live with
You
it
can
like
learn.
both of us.
Yeah. You have to think about it a little bit more and plan your routes a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure. But obviously it comes with practice. I mean,
And confidence.
And confidence, yeah. I mean, I
The more you
definitely,
ride.
I've dropped my fair few of bikes, 100%. It's part of the process, but now I'm happy to jump on, a big adventure bikes if I want to, all the way up to motocross bikes and things like this. So.
Yeah.
And I think it's been quite important for those that have the generous leg length, is a new kind of perspective on what it means to ride and feel comfortable on the road.
Help your short friends.
Help your short
I
friends.
always push up Phoenix to side stand.
You do my side stand for me, thank you.
Right. There you go, now I've sort myself out.
So that is a conclusive message. 1, help your short friends, and 2, go and ride the bikes.
Or get to a side stand.
Or a suicide stand, yeah.
Definitely.
Secondly, go and ride, go and test bikes. That's what we're here to do.
100%.
And CCM are one of the great manufacturers that are going to let you come along and do that. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you found this really interesting. Let us know what you think in the comments, and hope to see you out on the bike soon. I've got your...
Stop flexing. I'm not.
There we go. Are we in? Are we the right height?
I don't know. We're right way around.
Yeah, no, you're right there.
I think they should donate a couple of inches from that end.
So put your hand on your heads.
Yeah, exactly. Good stuff. And then you need to carry
Please,
Phoenix.
No.
Pass you over. Cool. Well, that's fun. That's the end of the video, but it's basically showing we're all riders. Well, most of us are. Doesn't matter your height, your inside leg. Just get out and ride. Go and ride bikes. Yay!